Hello, welcome to the channel. And today we're talking about the new VR headset that's kind of released out. It's making a whole lot of noise. Apple just released their VR headset. It looks a little bit different from what we saw in the advertisement, and a lot of people have been testing it. I recently saw Marquez testing it, and it's looking interesting. Will I get one? Hey, Apple, you can send me one to test and give you an honest review. What is this VR headset? What are they trying to achieve? Because I remember Facebook, Meta, they were trying to push in those metaverse and all those things. People were buying virtual lands. And are we ready for the VR technology? That's the question that I keep asking myself. Is the world ready for it? Yes or no? Some people argue yes, some people argue no. And the last time I was listening to the World Economic Forum in Davos, I was listening to one of their speeches, and it was like they were more interested in some group of people having the experience in life with a VR set. So, like, they want to down carbon emission and all that. So, maybe if you want to go to Spain or you want to go to China, you want to use the visit the wall of China instead of spending money and going as a peasant, you just need to go get a VR headset, which is like very less cheap compared to the plane ticket. Put it on, and you can have like unlimited tourist attraction locations you can visit without kind of wasting money. So that's kind of the fundamental principle they were trying to push back, because they said the airports are getting crowded, and how do you call it? People are flying too much, so there's this green emission going on, and the world is coming to end because there's no enough oxygen and all those crazy stuff. So the push of the VR headset is also to tackle the tourists and reduce transportation. Now, when we go into simulation, like let's say aircraft simulation, with the introduction of this VR headset, I think a lot of people have the chance to kind of do more simulation training before they go to the original training. So I think that is also going to help. But looking at how do you call it, VR headset compared to reality, the question I'm throwing to you: do you want to live a VR headset lifestyle, or do you want to live a real life lifestyle? That's the crazy part. Because yes, we want the VR headset is going to help, but it looks like they're pushing it as a way of living for a group of people. That hey, you're gonna spend your whole life on a VR headset. Life, it's gonna be your new office workspace. So like in the future, instead of, let's say, you sign on with a company, instead of they send you a laptop, they're gonna send you their VR headset, which has their VPNs log in. Then you're gonna put it on and work virtually. So now you don't use your 2D laptops, but now it's gonna go more VR headset. That is the main aim of the VR headset. It's one, going to replace the laptops and the phones, in not really clearing off the phone, but it's going to replace some of the functionalities of the phone, and creating a situation where we're going to have an immersive experience when we go into, I'm not going to say the World Wide Web anymore, but the virtual world. So it's just, they just want to replace the World Wide Web, that's the current internet we have, with a virtual world where we can do more. That is the whole idea, where we can do more. So when you put your VR headset now with like the Apple one, you still have your computer monitor in the virtual world, which is going to display all your photos, everything you have. And you can do more because it's a virtual world. You can take a walk, you can ride a bike, you can do everything. But my question is, won't this turn us into dummies? Have they kind of thought about the how do you call it, psychological effect, that information I want to see about this VR virtual stuff they pushing? Because I'm not. Yeah, it's a nice idea, but my question is, have they thought about the psychological effect it's going to have on humanity? Now, even look at the how do you call it? The issues kids are having now with this attention deformities. Kids can never nowadays kids can never kind of stay behind their computer and watch a program for like let's say 5 minutes straight. They kind of keep flipping so that you can see that there's now more YouTube shorts compared to normal let's say podcast and all that. So my question is, this VR headset that they're bringing out, have they thought about the medical or the psychological effect it's going to have on society? Is it going to turn us all into dummies? Because one, I've tried the Oculus Quest and it is extremely immersive, and when you enter into it, it's so fun you don't want to get out of it. And always I use it as the best example is during those times when we didn't have our phones, right? Shout out to some. During those times we didn't have our phone, we could live our lives happy, and we didn't kind of mind. I'm like an 80 kid. So 90s we didn't have phone. All we need is watch a little bit of TV, spend time outside. But when the phone came, people have become so addictive to it, right? That you could even go for a date night or a dinner with somebody and the person spends a lot of time with their phones. So my question is, what's the and it's become like a cancer, like um, a deformity which people are struggling with. So my question is, if the VR headsets are coming, have we checked the medical effects, the psychological effect, the social effect we're going to get out of it? Those are the how do you call it? The results I want. Those are the findings I want. It's not about rushing to push a product because um, a company wants to make profit, but also we should look at the other side of it, the humanitarian side of it. That is it going to help society as they kind of pushed, or is it going to make us more dumb? So that is one take of it. But I think when it comes to that's like a side issue I've been always thinking about, and this goes to Apple, this goes to Facebook. At least you need to come out and tell us more about that research you guys have done. And I know you don't have enough research because you just kind of brought the product out, so you're not going to have that kind of research on it unless it takes a couple of years. But that's a side effect we want to know. Those people who tested, did they get side effect? Did they get any funny mood swings or behavior change? Those are certain things we want to know. Then, but the good thing is when it comes to health and fitness, like with the Quest, it has a lot of fitness program on it, and it's to me, I'll say it's better than going to a gym because you have it here, you have yoga classes and all that. It's fun. It's fun. Like you can go for a run in a forest, which you don't have an exposure to in real life. You can choose the locations you want to exercise, and that's fun. So that is what I'm also thinking about. Then also, it's going to open up the world. When I say the world, I'm talking about the VR world. It's going to open up the world, and everybody. What I'm going to say is, in the future, everybody will have an avatar. Whether you like it or not, you need to have an avatar because in the future, in the VR world, everybody's going to have an ID. So you create your own avatar, you create an ID for that avatar, and that avatar is issued will be background checked with your real life, and that avatar will be kind of issued an ID. So let's say I'm Cliff, so I'm gonna get a Cliff ID in the VR world, which is gonna be me, and the algorithm will gonna make me grow as a normal person. And the funny part of it is when the AI increases to a certain level and learns your moods, your behavior, what your likes and dislike, it's now going to survive on the VR world without how do you call it, you influencing it. So this is how it's going to be. You create an avatar today, right? Everything you talk about, you read, you do, or the activities that you get yourself involved in the VR world, your avatar in the VR world in the future with AI is going to be how do you call it? Able to work. It's going to be independent. That in the future, when you should even die, your avatar lives on. That's the whole concept they're trying to build. So you're going to have an ID, because in the future we'll be working, some of the work will be done in the VR world, because I said there will be no more laptops. You need your VR laptops. So to go in, you need those checks and balances. So you get your ID in the VR world, then you use to work. And it's going to be fun, but my only issue is it going to change humanity into dummy? That's my own issue. So the long and short is, Meta has brought out their VR Quest, and Apple has brought it. Mine is it going to be different VR world, or in the future it's going to get merged up? Because we have one internet and we have a lot of websites. How is the VR world going to be managed in the future? And that is a question I leave to Meta. That's a question I leave to all companies jumping into. I know Samsung will be coming soon, and Samsung is one of the best kind of product developers. So if Samsung brings out their own VR set, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a tough competition, which will be healthy. And I know Microsoft is also coming out with theirs, and they're working on it. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be healthy. It's going to be interesting competition. But I'm looking forward to see what happens in the future. So what do you think? What have you? You can put your comments below. Tell me what you think about the VR world. Is it good for humanity, or is it going to make us more retarded? Because the phones have made a lot of people dummies now. You go into bars, you go into places. Now people don't even talk to each other. People spend most time on their phones. So is the VR world going to make us more dumber, that your kids go to bed with VR headsets on their head, and we don't even see our faces anymore, because people are kind of saturated into the VR world? Like, is it going to make us more dumber, or is it going to bring an improvement to humanity? Give me your thoughts. Put a comment below and share, and stay blessed and enjoy.